What if you could get a 7-day forecast for a flood just as easily as you check to see if it's going to rain this weekend? Well, that's the big idea behind a really cool collaboration between Microsoft and NASA. They're using AI to totally change how we predict and prepare for extreme weather. And honestly, it's a fascinating peek into the future of how we study our own planet. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if we could have a direct conversation with all the data our planet produces? Just ask it about potential floods or droughts and get a clear, simple answer back in seconds. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. It's the actual technology we're going to dive into right now. Okay, so let's start with the core problem. With extreme weather events becoming more and more common, like those massive atmospheric rivers that hit Washington state recently, we've got a major water management challenge. But here's the twist. The problem isn't just the water itself. It's the absolutely overwhelming amount of data we have about it. This phrase really just nails the dilemma. On one hand, you've got scientists with access to petabytes. That's a whole lot of crucial Earth science data from places like NASA. But on the other hand, actually trying to untangle that information to get a useful forecast, that can take weeks of work using highly specialized, complicated tools. And this quote from Microsoft's Juan Carlos Lopez gets right to the heart of it. The very people who need this information the most, I'm talking about city planners, emergency responders getting ready for a flood, they often can't access it or make sense of it. There's this huge gap between the data we have and the decisions that need to be made like yesterday. So the science at the center of all this is called hydrology. And it's basically the study of Earth's water cycle. Rain, where it goes, how it moves through rivers and soil, the whole shebang. Understanding hydrology is absolutely fundamental for everything from farming to city planning and, of course, for predicting natural disasters. It's kind of like the language our planet uses to talk about water. So bridging that gap between super complex data and these urgent real-world decisions is the main challenge. And that is exactly where this new solution comes into play. It's a tool called Hydrology Copilot. And this is a really big deal because it's not just one company working in a silo. We're talking about a powerhouse partnership, combining Microsoft's incredible Azure AI platform with NASA's literal treasure trove of Earth science data. Together, they've built this Hydrology Copilot, which is basically a set of specialized AI agents designed to speak the planet's water language. Okay, so how does this AI actually turn that mountain of data into a simple, useful answer? Let's take a quick look under the hood. Probably the best way to think about it is like this. Imagine these AI agents are a team of brilliant research assistants who work at, the speed of light. You can give them a research question and they instantly dig through NASA's entire library of water data, find exactly what you need, and then present it back to you in a way you can actually understand. From the user side, the process is beautifully simple. First, a user just asks a normal question in plain English, something like, hey, which regions might be facing a higher flood risk soon? Then the AI agents go to work, accessing NASA's most advanced datasets. And boom, instead of getting back a giant spreadsheet, they deliver an interactive, color-coded map that shows you exactly where the risk areas are. And this right here, this shows you the night and day difference. The old way meant weeks of painstaking analysis, needing all this complex software and deep expertise. The Copilot way means getting instant insights from a simple question. This isn't just a small step forward, it's a massive leap that makes potentially life-saving information accessible to pretty much everyone. So this brings us to what I think is the most important part. Why does any of this matter? Because, cool tech is only as good as the impact it has in the real world. So let's connect the dots from this tool to the actual decisions that can protect communities and save lives. I mean, the list of people who could benefit from this is just huge. Think about city planners trying to figure out where to build flood barriers, or emergency responders deciding where to stage their resources ahead of a storm. Even farmers trying to plan their irrigation schedules. The whole goal here is to empower local decision makers with the information they need to prepare. So when you boil it all down, the ultimate takeaway is this. Hydrology Copilot is designed to turn all this complex, messy scientific data into clear, actionable intelligence. It helps people improve how they monitor for droughts, assess flood risks, and just generally get way ahead of these events with better emergency plans. So what's next for this technology? It's a really powerful vision, for sure. But it's also important to be realistic about where the project is right now and, where it's headed. Now, it's really important to know that Hydrology Copilot is still what we'd call an emerging technology. Right now, it's mainly in the hands of researchers. They're the ones using it, testing it, and fine-tuning its abilities. So it's not a tool you can just go download today, but it really does represent the cutting edge of what's becoming possible. And that really leaves us with a final pretty big thought. We're seeing AI being used here to have a conversation with our planet's water cycle. So if this works for predicting floods, what other global challenges could we tackle by giving experts a direct line to complex data? I mean, from predicting wildfires to ensuring food security, the possibilities are truly staggering to think about.